going with the new chapter, motion in a straight line. To enter into this, we need so much of mathematics required that I will cover in the further classes. And here, actually, we started from one branch of physics from this chapter. So usually there will be different branches of physics in that. We'll see example how exactly the different branches of physics will be. Wait one second. Just hold on. No. So this is our new chapter, motion in a straight line in this. So we will first, before going into this, we will see what are the different branches we come across and how those will be. See, in physics, basically, in physics, we will be dealing with only two things majorly. Only two things. Whatever topic you study in physics, we will be dealing with these two topics only. One is matter, other one is energy. So every topic in physics will be relevant to these two only. Okay, as you know about matter, in lower classes onwards, you will be studying about matter. Matter is something which occupies a space, right? So we will be having idea about what are the different kinds of matter we have: solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. Okay, about those solids, liquid, gases will be studying, and what kind of energy it will be having, how the energy will be transforming, all those will be studying. Okay, so all the topics which we study in physics will be involving with these two only, and basically we'll be studying about two things only, and there will be different branches of branches will be there in physics. So those are mechanics will be there. Okay, mechanics is one branch of physics, and next heat will be there. This is other branch of physics. Next electricity will be there. This is other branch of physics. Electricity. Next electricity and magnetism will be there. Next, and both combined one more branch will be there, that we call it as electromagnetism. Means actually we can say it as electricity and magnetism. So electromagnetism will be there. So we can consider this completely as one branch only, electromagnetism. Next, we will be having modern physics. One more branch will be there. Okay, so this will be involved with the nucleus, atoms, and all. And one more, actually it will come here only, that is one more branch is optics. So these are the major branches in physics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 branches of physics will be there. So total physics, whatever we will be studying, that will come on into any of these branches only. And in physics, in first year physics, intermediate first year physics, we will be having these two branches. Okay, so mechanics and heat. First, most of our first year physics will be having, most of our syllabus will be having this mechanics only. So we will go with this mechanics part now. Okay, then in the end 3 chapters will be there, that is about heat. The remaining electromagnetism, modern physics, optics, all these will be coming in intermediate second year. Okay, now if you go with the mechanics, okay, mechanics, if I speak about, in mechanics what happens, mechanics is a branch of physics. As I said, these are the different branches of physics. Okay, now mechanics is a branch of physics where we will be studying about, in mechanics we will be studying about motion of objects. Okay, motion of objects, and if objects are at rest or they are in equilibrium, if they are in rest or they are in equilibrium, so that also will be studied in mechanics. Okay, so majorly what we want to say in simple terms, if we want to say, so we will be studying about some kind of objects or particles where the particle is subjected to some force. If the particle is subjected to force only, it will be in motion. If it is subjected to force, but even though if it is not moving, that can be come under rest or equilibrium. Okay, so when some particle is subjected to some force, so that about the particle we will be studying in terms of mechanics. Okay, so mechanics is a branch of physics where we will be studying about different two different things, that is motion and rest or in equilibrium. Okay, so even though force is acting on some object, if the object is not moving, so that comes under equilibrium. So that is also we'll be studying in physics. Okay, so we are going with mechanics part now, and again there will be branches in mechanics that we will see. So what exactly mechanics, what I said just now is, just hold on. Right. So this is the exact definition of mechanics. It is a branch of physics which deals with the study of motion of the objects and equilibrium of the object. So equilibrium, if force is not acting, we can call it as a rest. So even the object is at rest position also, there some forces exist. Okay, that's the reason I am using the word equilibrium only. So if that is in, if the object or particle is in motion or if it is in equilibrium, so if we study about the particle or object which is in motion or in equilibrium, that comes under mechanics. Okay. If we are studying different properties of it, then it will go to different branch of physics, as we had no different branches of physics. Suppose if it is subjected to some energy which is giving us some sensation of heat, hotness or coldness, about that energy if we are speaking about, then it will come under heat branch of physics. If we are taking about the particle and the particles are having some attractional nature and all, that comes under the electricity or magnetism part of branch of physics. If we are going into the atomic size, how the atoms will be, how the nucleus will be, what are the molecular forces or interatomic forces and all, so those if we study, that will come under optics. If we are studying about the same matter, but if we are going with a other form of energy which will give us a sensation of vision, so that comes under optics branch of physics. Okay, so we are going with a branch of physics called mechanics, and there we will be studying about motion of objects or particles, okay, and equilibrium of them. I hope this is clear, and we will be continuing with the different branches of mechanics. Here, every time I'm using one word when I used this object, I'm using a word called particle. That word is important because whatever we study in mechanics, we will be studying about particles only. So we will study about a particle only. Now, that will come back to that. Before going to that particle, what we are studying different uh, things about particle. First we will see, as I told you, there different branches will be there in mechanics also. So already mechanics is a branch of physics, and in mechanics also we will be having, so let me write in center so that it will be better. Mechanics is also having some other branches. So that if we write, just a minute, like this. So mechanics also has some branches of physics. So what exactly happens here is, so how many lines I have drawn here? These are 3 lines I have drawn here. That means that 3 branches are there in mechanics. So these 3 branches are, one is, hold on, one is statics, and one is kinematics, and the other one is dynamics. Okay, so we are having three branches of mechanics: statics, kinematics, and dynamics. In statics, as I told you in the definition of mechanics itself, even though forces are acting on an object, if it is not moving from its actual position, then that comes under statics. Statics are nothing but we will be studying about the particles or objects which are at rest. As I told you, even though the object is at rest, there will act some forces on it, right? So what kind of forces will act, we will see once. Then we will move on to next branch of physics called kinematics. Okay, now, so if there is a object lying, so there is an object lying over here now. So what we are dealing here, just a minute. Now, so there is an object. So even though no external forces are acting on it, still there exists some natural forces on it. So the object will have certain mass. So due to that, some force will be acting downwards. So that force we call it as a gravitational force. That gravitational force only we call it as a weight. Okay? Weight will be acting downwards. Weight is nothing but our gravitational force. So this which is acting downwards. So exactly opposite to this, there acts some more force called normal reaction force. Okay, so definitely there exists two forces on it, even though the object is at rest. If further more forces comes, then the number of forces will increase, right? So the object is at rest, still some forces are acting on it. If we are studying about the objects which are at rest, then it comes under statics, which is a branch of mechanics. Okay, so what exactly force, weight and all will be, we have a basic idea of them, and again we will be studying in our further chapters. Next, if we go with the kinematics, here same kind of arrangement we can consider. An object, so what we are taking, an object I am taking. Now this object, so what is happening to this object here is, so it is applied by some external force. So what happens when external force acts on it, as we have some basic idea, we have studied in lower classes, the object obviously it changes from its actual position, right? So it will be coming into some other position after certain amount of time. So now when it is subjected to some external force, when it is changing its position, what are all the different parameters we will get over here, that will be studied in kinematics. That means what? When the object is at rest, we are studying in statics. When the object is in motion, we are studying in kinematics. Okay, so but here, oh, I'll come back to this again. Next, when it comes to dynamics also we will be dealing almost the same. So we will be considering one object. Okay, so we are considering an object. So the object again, it is applied by some force. Now, so when it is applied by some external force, so what happens to the object? Obviously, already we have learnt in the previous diagram. So the object will be changing its position. Now, here also we will be studying about motion of the object only. In kinematics and in dynamics, in both the cases, we will be studying about motion of the object only. Now, here comes the major difference. When we are studying about kinematics, whatever external force we are acting here, we will not be bothering about what force is acting on it, how much force is acting on it, what kind of force is acting on it. We will be studying about the motion of the object only, purely motion of the object only. We will not bother about what is causing its motion. Actually, in Greek, kinemat means motion. So from Greek, it is originated, kinematics word. And so in kinematics, we will be studying about motion of the object only. We will be studying about motion of the object only, purely motion of the object. We will not bother about what is causing its motion. And when it is in motion, what are the different parameters we'll get, like velocity, displacement, acceleration. Already we have some basic idea about it. Those we'll be studying in kinematics. When it comes to dynamics, what happens? We will be studying about, as I said, motion of the object. Okay, so we will be studying about the motion of the object by considering what is causing its motion. What is causing its motion? Some force is acted on it. So we will be studying about force into consideration. What is causing its motion? Force. That force we are considering. Whereas here we are not considering about the force. That means what is causing its motion, we are not going to bother about it. Just we'll be studying about the motion and its characteristics. And here we are just studying about motion, and what is causing its motion also we will be studying in dynamics. Okay, so that is all about mechanics and its three branches of mechanics, right? So that is about mechanics, and we will be going in detail. We will have some basic concepts on this to study about motion and all. So as I said, the two words here, rest, motion, we will go with these two in kinematics, and we will continue. So statics is a simple, nothing much to study about it. Somewhere if it comes, it will be coming in these two somewhere itself. Okay, so we are not, we don't need to go in specific about this. So we will be going with the kinematics, and then we will go with the dynamics. Okay, so whatever chapter we started, no? So motion in a straight line. This comes under our kinematics part, means kinematics branch of mechanics only. Okay, so the next further topics chapters will come into this dynamics part. There, when it comes about this, I'll intimate you. Okay, let you know. So we'll be studying about the kinematics part of mechanics. So we'll go in detail. So in kinematics, so as I said, we will be going with rest and motion. So that we will go with here. So what we are going with now, concept of rest and motion. Concept of rest and motion. Now, so in this concept of rest and motion, just a minute. In this concept of rest and motion, first, generally, what is rest, what is motion, we will try to define, then I will continue. Okay, so first we'll define a rest, then we will define motion. Again we will come back to this rest and motion in more detailed view. Okay, so first, rest means what? Suppose the same previous example, if I take there, that object was there and it was lying there only. Even though the time passing on, the object is not changing its position, then the object is said to be at rest. Okay, so if a particle, better I will use this in terms of particle only. If a particle does not change, what? Does not change its position, does not change its position with respect to what we are taking, with respect to time. So if a particle does not change its position with respect to time, then the particle is said to be at rest, right? Then the particle is said to be at rest. Okay, that is the concept of uh, rest. Okay, said to be at rest. Now, next what we are going with motion. Just simple, already if you have understood what is mean by rest means, we will be easily come to know what is mean by motion. So the same particle, if it changes its position with respect to time, then it is considered as, it is said to be in motion. Okay, so if a particle, changes its position with respect to respect to time, then the particle is said to be in motion, right? So that is the basic idea about rest and motion, which you might have studied in class 9 itself. Okay, and there we will be studying one more sentence also. Rest and motion are relative, right? So this also you might have you will be studying it definitely with some better examples. So we will come to this. Rest and motion are relative, how they are relative and all. So we'll define some more some more thing, some interesting thing. Then we will come back to this rest and motion, how they are relative and all. Okay, and there will be one more terminology called absolute rest and motion. Absolute rest and motion. So absolute rest and motion means, what does it mean? Suppose if I take some object, if I take some object on ground, so what I wanted to mention here is, so that object should be, if I consider some object on the ground, I have taken this is, I am taking this as ground, and there is an object on it. With respect to ground, this object, it is at rest, suppose, or whether it is moving or if it is at rest or moving. So with respect to ground we are saying, and with respect to this ground is not moving, and only the object may move or may be at rest. If the ground also moves, so we cannot say it as the object is at rest, because this is also moving. Now what I wanted to say is, absolute rest means the ground should be completely at rest, then with respect to that only I am studying. But whatever ground we are speaking about, that is nothing but our earth. So if we observe in detail, the earth also revolves around sun, so that is also in motion. So, and if we want to specify some absolute rest in anywhere, any space which is at rest, so which is not possible. Suppose if we go to space also, suppose suppose instead of on earth, if I go to some other planet, that some other planet also moving, and if I stick to this sun, the sun also will be revolving around in the galaxy, so around some other object. So what we want to say is, absolute rest or absolute motion we won't able to define. That means it does not exist. So for that, how to define these things, rest and motion? So that for that we will be calling this as relative terms. Relative rest means rest and motion are relative. So how exactly it is, we will see further. So for that I will come up with some diagrams, then we will able to understand clearly. See, what we are going here, what we are going to see here is, just a minute. Hold on. Right. Now, just 1 second. Right. So this, if I speak about this, now, here, so what this person is observing here is, here we can, there is a person here. I will speak about these lines afterwards. This person is there, and this person, if we observe the person who is traveling in this van. So what he feel, what this person will feel, this person is moving in this particular object. And if there is one more person beside this who is sitting in the same van, co-passenger of this, how do both of them feel? They feel that both of them are at rest only. See, so only thing what we have to concentrate is, I'm speaking about this person. This person appears to be in motion to this person, whereas the same person appears to be at rest who is there beside of him, to the person who is there beside of him. Okay, the same person, we are feeling that the same person is at rest with respect to him, the same person is in motion with respect to the other person, right? So to define exactly, we are going with this frame of reference. So what does frame of reference means? Frame of reference is, we are fixing some coordinates to define the rest and motion exactly. Okay, so whatever coordinates we are fixing here, so this coordinates whatever we are fixing, only we call it as a frame of reference. Okay, so we need to define a frame of reference to study exactly about rest and motion. That's the reason I have drawn some lines over here. So this person who is standing on the ground, so he has some, these green color lines are there, no? So this with respect to this origin, so this with respect to this origin, with respect to this person is observing. So this is a one reference frame, and this person is also observing him who is there on ground. So he is also, this can also be treated as a one more frame of reference. Okay, so this is the moving frame and this is the rest frame. And so if the person is moving with some acceleration, so this comes in further topics, that we call it as this moving frame, we call it as a non-inertial frame. And the person who is there on the ground, who is observing this frame of reference, we call it as inertial frame of reference. Okay, in simple, we have two frames of references: inertial frame of reference as well as non-inertial frame of reference. Okay, so the person who is observing here in this given example, he is in inertial frame of reference, and if this person is moving with some acceleration, this person is in non-inertial frame of reference. That will come in Newton's laws. When we are studying about Newton's laws, there we will be studying about clearly what is inertial frame and what is non-inertial frame. Here, for this time being, only you just go with the frame of reference. Okay? Frame of reference is what we are fixing some coordinates to study about motion exactly. Okay, that is about frame of reference. And still further, if we move in this frame of reference, so if I want to specify a particular position of a particle, suppose there is a particle, and if I want to specify the particle's position, I need some coordinates, position coordinates. Okay, so in terms of those position coordinates with respect to time, if I define this point, then that coordinate system, we call it as Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, so you might have having idea about in basic mathematics. Still we will see that in detail in physics, how we will be taking it under. Now we will see that in detail, and we will continue with our topic. See here I have some point in the space. Okay. So you have idea about this coordinate geometry in your school level maths. So what we are choosing here is, there is a point P I have chosen now, and here I have three-dimensional space. In three-dimensional space, I have a point P, and this point P, it is at a distance of x along the x-axis. Okay, so this is x, and along y-axis it is at a distance of y. Okay, now along z-axis it is at a distance of z. Okay, so these three coordinates, these three position coordinates defining its distance along the three directions. Okay, so such a coordinate system, we are calling it as Cartesian coordinate system, right? And usually we will be having in Cartesian coordinate system, we will be having clockwise and anti-clockwise we will be having. Usually here, this if we see, so x, y, z is there. Okay, so clockwise coordinate system, anti-clockwise coordinate system if we see. So this is a coordinate system which we follow in physics. I'll show you one more diagram for this. Just hold on. So extra just advanced to that means just extension of the previous diagram. This is what we are doing in this is we are going with right-handed coordinate system. That means if we are hold our right hand like this, whatever our thumb is pointing, that is our z-axis. So in general, in our physics, we will be moving with a, we will be studying in terms of a right-handed coordinate system only. Okay, x, y, z. So this x, y is our plane. Suppose if we take a table and all, so whatever table plane is there, that is our x, y plane. Up of it, so like this. Above it, whatever plane is there, that is the z-axis. Okay, so in general, we will be following right-handed coordinate system. See, here easily we will come to know one thing. If we have right-handed coordinate system means, that means there exists left-handed coordinate system also, right? So right-handed coordinate system is there, left-handed coordinate system is there in Cartesian coordinates. So we will see both of them, but we will be using only right-handed coordinate system only in physics in our further chapters. Now we will see once a left-handed coordinate system also in further diagrams. Once I'll cross check whether it is showing here or not. It is there now. So right-handed coordinate system we have seen, and in the same way if we see left-handed coordinate system once, I'll take one more page and I'll be taking over here. Just a minute. See, in this now, so this is anti-clockwise direction, right-handed, z upwards. Okay, if it is not visible, I'll just zoom it. No problem. Now, so x, y, z, three are there in this. So y is inside, it is there. That's the reason it came here. So what is happening now? Just a minute. X, y, z. Here also right-handed. In previously, x we have taken outward. Here y we are taking inward. Okay. Now, so x, y, z. This is anti-clockwise, right-handed, z up. So if we place our right hand thumb, so thumb will be pointing in the z direction. Here, left-handed, z up. Okay. So in this side we are taking z up only, left hand. So this direction in clockwise direction we are choosing here. Okay. So simple, it is not complicated. We are just having right-handed coordinate system and left-handed coordinate system. Here z up and here also z up only, but we are taking direction in other way. Next, here right-handed y up. So y-axis when we are taking up, x, y. Generally this you might have having idea in plane. X, y axis will take, and z-axis we are taking in the third dimension. Okay, x, y is sorry, x, z is our plane, y is our upward direction. Okay, this is anti-clockwise direction, right-handed y up, and here also left-handed y up here taking. Okay, so this is how right-hand and left-handed coordinate system, how it will be. Okay, two types of coordinate system we are having, right-handed and left-handed. In physics we are going with only right-handed coordinate system, right? So that is all about our coordinate system. Further, we have idea about what is the frame of reference now, what is a coordinate system now, right? Now, just a minute, we will move further about what is meant by particle and all, right? So better I'll stop this class here itself, and we will continue with the particle part in the next lecture.